Hi, it's Cindy. This is my first day at the studio actually working. It's a Monday. Mondays are usually my administrative days, but I've spent all morning working, which is wonderful on art. But I have to get moving so that I can get my administrative stuff done that I put off all last week. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I did, and then I wanted to go through the process with you a little bit. I left one that was empty so that I could show you what I did, so hang on. All right, so I'm not sure how this setup is going to work. Once upon a time, I had a really nice setup for filming my art, and I don't know where the things are that I used to use. So anyway, I started out this morning making these. This is a series. There's 4 of them, using some vintage materials that I found, of course, at an estate sale. But those are the cards. And let me show you what I started with. I started with a blank card that I stenciled on. So I used my stencil here, and I used distress ink to stencil these. I used this VersaFine ink to stencil. You can see the lines here. I stenciled over that on here. And then I also used this big circle stencil that actually, it's funny, a bit of my mom was here today, I guess, in a way, because my mom had a colostomy, and these were things that they used to ship with her colostomy supplies. And so I grabbed them out of the stuff before we donated them so that I could have, well, not all of them, but the ones that were used. Actually, I guess I didn't donate them. I threw them away, but I grabbed these from there. So I started by doing that, and but first of all, I started with a blank piece of cardboard, and then I glued down a whole bunch of little pieces of paper that I had left over from when I cut out some niches out of some altered books a long time ago. So then I did all of that. Then I just added some more papers and things on top, things that I cut out, like I might add some music notes here and some, other things on there, if you can look at this real closely to see. I added some more of the smaller circles around. I added some stencil shapes with darker, and I have actually very limited supplies here at the studio right now. I'm in the process of bringing things over, so I really had to work with what I just had here, which actually helps me to be creative. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm the most creative when that is the case. So I just used what I had, and I wanted some darker colors. I had some Stays-On ink, but it was dried out, so all I had were my distress inks, which are very muted colors. So I did have a little drawing kit that I had here that had some of these oil pastels in them. So after I adhered the image that I would have torn out of this page, like this is the foxtrot image, I went through and I embellished a bit with the oil pastels. Now this one I actually did first, so you can see that there's a little bit of carryover on the color. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do anything with that or not, or if trying to do something will screw it up and make it more noticeable. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to handle that. I may just leave it as it is. And then so I did all of that here, and I wanted some really darker pops of color, so I did put them around using the oil pastels. When I was all done with the initial collage, so after I had this all collaged the way I wanted, stenciled, etc., then what I did was I came in with my this little tool, love this tool, and I did the brown all around the outside edges here. Sorry, it was off screen. Like that. Then I took my pitch black from Adirondack, and I went around the edges, okay, just to make that pop. And so I always want to frame my pieces. So did that. Then after that was, oh, I added some texture here by adding some pattern paper. So I glued on the pattern paper and crinkled it up a little bit. You can see it more in maybe some of these other ones where I crinkled up the paper a little bit. So I did that there. And then I went in at the end and I pulled out some little tidbits that I just had sitting around. See all these little tidbits of fabric. And I thought about using these because it's the perfect color, but I never quite got around to using those. But I liked adding the little pop of this color. So I did use that on each one of these pieces. I want them to stand on their own, but I also want them to be cohesive. So I added little pops of color there, and then I added one little embellishment like that on each piece. And the next piece, which actually I was going to do on camera, but like I said, I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to do it. This piece, I'm going to finish this piece. This one's going to be Foxtrot. It's going to have this image in it, and it's going to be done in a similar fashion. So that's what I got done at the first day at my new studio. It was a lot of fun to just play and create, and so I'm going to do that every day. I'll get in here, and because my best hours are my morning hours. So the other stuff, all that administrative stuff, that has to get done. So I will get it done no matter what. But if I don't start immediately creating, I will never get around to getting that done. It's always the last thing that goes. Do you guys, I mean, is it that way in your creative life? Anyway, thanks for joining me. Like I said, I'm going to be doing more videos on this channel like that. I hopefully will get a better setup for you so that I can show you my process a little bit better rather than just explaining it. I can actually, you know, work with you. So just stay tuned for all of that. Don't forget to check out my other channel if you like vintage things, Mimi's Treasure Cottage. I'll put the name right here and the link will be down below. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.